Interesting, the Ben Ish Chai doesn't start with Birkot HaShachar, starts with tefilin. He must have his reasons. So, habatim v'haretzuot shel tefilin shel rosh v'yad tzarich sheyu shechorot, the batim and the retzuot. Everything has to be black. The Torah doesn't say that. It's halakha l'Moshe Sinai. V'lachen, and therefore, im tzlabenu machmat yoshnan, if the straps become whitened because of, like, they're getting old, tzarich lashchiram, a person has to paint, to lashchiram, to make it black. It's also a lot of times, like, we have to be careful that, after using it a long time, the straps might be even pasul, because if it becomes, like, it comes rubs off, especially where we make the ties. Now, ve'im yishchiram goy pasulim, if a goy, if a non-Jew dyes, paints it tefillin, it's pasul. And it have to do Shem Mitzvah. And then, v'tzarich sheyeh tzad hashachor shebirtzuot letzad chutz. The black side should be outside. Ve'im nitapecha haretzuah shesaviv harosh, if the strap around the head is reversed, v'chen haretzuah shekosher ba haretzitza, and also the strap where he ties the retzitza over the hand, if over there it's reversed, yitaneh yom echad. Then he should fast one day. V'had Rav Huna, the Gemara says in Masechet Menachot, the Rav Huna it'ana ba'avur ze 40 yom, 40 days. Zo midat chasidut yetera. Right, havat bei. V'tov, now, v'tov lizaher gam birtzuot tefillin shel rosh, hameshulshalot ala chazeh v'atabur. So he says the main thing is not to be reversed, is around the head and around the arm when we tie it. But he says, Ben Ish Chai says, it's we should also be careful. Tov, it's good that we should be careful about the hanging retzuot as well. Right?
Why is it so serious?
Halakha Moshe Sinai.
It's so seriously fast?
Yes. It's no, I mean the fasting, the source is Halakha Moshe Sinai. But why so severe? I don't know. For Rav Huna to fast 40 days. Right. If this is, yeah. I mean, this is unlikely.
But that means you warm it for a while that way.
Yeah. I mean, if you correctly dry it away, it's not a problem. Right. If he ended up like davening without noticing.
How about if both sides are black?
Right, we're going to get there. So, v'chen retzuah shel tefillin shel yad shekorech ala zeroah shelo yitapechu. In other words, the main thing is around the head and here when you make the bracha. But it says, it's a hidur, that's also the rest of the retzuah, that shelo yitapechu. Now, then he says, ואף על גב דעל פי הסוד משחירין הרצועות פנים ואחור, because the pasuk says שחורות כעורב. The pasuk של השירים says שחורות כעורב, blackened like a raven, כלוך חלי סיוס. כנזכר בשער הכוונות רבנו האריזל. רבנו האריזל says that both sides should be al pi asod mashchirin haretzuot panim v'achor. It's the top and also the bottom, right? He says lo nahagnu bechach. Ben Ish Chai says lo nahagnu bechach. V'sha'alti al minhag hachasidim beragodesh. He said, I asked, what do they do in Yerushalayim? The Hasidim. ואמרו לי שיש נזהרים להשחיר פנים ואחור ויש שהם מדגדגים בזו. He says in Yerushalayim some people were nizhar to do it the way Arizal said and some not. And in Baghdad they didn't. I don't know exactly why. Recently it became pretty much the mainstream to do it. I have 3 pairs of tefillin, I changed all of them. Right? because it's really, when it becomes white, etc., it's not going to white anymore. When you do that, so then it doesn't become white, even the top. But this is, and Rav Ovadia doesn't comment on this, on the shchorot on both sides. But it says Arizal says shara kavanot, right? So I mean, a person is not obligated to do that, but it seems to be that it became pretty much mainstream yeshivish that they do it by Sfardim. I don't know if by Ashkenazim also. I don't know what they do by Ashkenazim. I don't know. Anyway, Rav Ovadia says about this when mitapecha retzuah im haya kach. He says, he says, if from the beginning, when he made the bracha, it was reversed, he didn't do the mitzvah of tefilin. If it was reversed. And again, we are talking about reverse on the head, around the head, and around the arm when you make the bracha. But, right, he says, at the beginning it was proper, and then it's reversed. So obviously he doesn't have to come back to make it to put again. Ulinana bracha, but bracha yesh omrim shchozer gam levarech. So if when you made the bracha, if it was reversed, and then you realize and it changed, some say he should make another bracha. Veyesh cholkim, so therefore, tzavech brachot lehakel. And then, the Rav Ovadia says, as far as fasting, if it happens such a thing, a ben Torah, that it could disturb his learning, so it's better, instead of fasting, you should do Tanit Tibur, or to give tzedakah. So, Yom Menucha and Shabbat, we say, Avraham Yagel, Yitzchak Yeranen, Yaakov Vanav Yanuchu Bo. It's very interesting. Avraham Yagel, Yitzchak Yeranen, Yaakov Vanav Yanuchu Bo. So how come it says Yaakov Vanav? Only Yaakov Vanav Yanuchu Bo? What about Avraham Yitzchak Lo Yanuchu Bo? Right? This is the Achat Shalt himself says. He asks the question. And if it wants to say that Avraham Avinu Lo Kol Banav Yanuchu Bo, right? Because there's Psul Bezar, or Shetzemenu Ishmael, and also Yitzchak. Vale? Yanuchu Bo yani chi? You tell me. Yanuchu Bo yani to rest mikonand. You're going to rest on it. Yom Menucha U'Kedusha. Shabbat is Yom Menucha U'Kedusha. Avraham Yagel. Avraham is going to be happy. Yitzchak Yeranen. It's also Rina, it's also like Simcha. And then Yaakov Vanav Yanuchu Bo. Only Yaakov Vanav Yanuchu Bo. What about Avraham and Yitzchak? And if you want to say because Avraham had Ishmael and Yitzchak had Esav, right? So he says, so it should have said Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov Vanav Yanuchu Bo, right? So he says, B'derech HaRemez, we find it's a very cute point. There are two mitzvot that the Torah is matir to be mechalel Shabbat, even though it's lamited melachot. Which two? You have first of all Brit Milah, right? Brit Milah, even though it's netilat neshama, it's Torah was matir, and also Korbanot, even though it involves chilul Shabbat, it's allowed on Shabbat. So he says maybe שזה נרמז בתפילה, יום מנוחה וקדושה למחנת הטעם, right, and therefore it's אסורים על לעשות מלאכה, right, there's this מלאכה, but Avraham Yagel סופי תיבות is mal, even though, right, he has also, even though he has a menucha, but Avraham Yagel סופי תיבות is mal, רמז על המילה, וגם אברהם, the name Atzmo Romez Al Milah, Sharishon Avraham Avinu, it's Hashem gave the Brit Milah to Avraham Avinu, and he was the first one to do the Milah. So also it says by Milah, Sas Anochi Al Imratecha Kemotze Shalal Rav, and that's why he says Yagel Beinyan Shel Simcha, Vechen Yitzchak Ranen, right? So one is regarding Avraham. Milah is allowed on Shabbat. And the other part, Yitzchak Yeranen, so he's talking about korbanot, Yitzchak ba'atzmo, haya korban b'hara Moriam, right? V'gam sofei tevot, Yitzchak Yeranen is gen. Gen is what? The korbanot. שאישה שילדה וענייה בקורבן, כן, שני גוזלות. So therefore, that's why he says, יום מנוחה וקדושה אליה בכל נתת. מכל הלמתת מלאכות, ובכל זאת, right, you know, everybody was מצווה, the מנוחה is for everybody, everybody is מצווה, with the למתת מלאכות, but Avraham, Yagel, Yitzchak Ranen, that, you know, that Avraham, even though he's מצווה on Shabbat and it's menucha, you're allowed to do milah b'Shabbat, and also Yitzchak Ranen, it's korbanot. אבל יעקב, שמרמז על התורה, שנאמר בו למתת מלאכות ובניו, right, that he's, so then ינוחו בו, they are not allowed to, right? Yaakov is not allowed to. Just Avraham, you're talking about milah, and Yitzchak Ranen. But this is when it comes to Klal Israel, Yaakov ובניו, so then they have menucha shlema. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akashia אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך